Hello everybody, my name is Benji. Welcome back to Satisfactory. Finally, I fixed my frames. Kind of. I'm also streaming on Twitch, so the whole VOD download is going to be a little interesting. I hope I'm actually able to do it. But regardless, we're experiencing new things today in the term of I finished the supercomputers because I got bored and didn't have anything else to do, and it needed done. And also, I finished the worldwide train network. So the train network now connects to Orange Heaven and connects to the armory up here as well. The only thing that we'll ever have to do is make a little loop-de-loop here, roundabout, and go up into the desert for nuclear pasta. Other than that, the trains are, well, they're done. They're literally done. It feels great. And having supercomputers automated, using drones to take them back to the base, feels great as well. So let me take you on a little bit of a journey through the supercomputer factory from start to finish as soon as we get our little drone friend back. You can also see out in the distance, spoiler alert, geothermal generators. For anybody in chat, !plan will let you know about that. I love the drones, they look so cool. Anyway, it all starts down here at the base of the factory on the first floor, which it always does, with the caterium smelting, which we are using refineries in order to actually get enough caterium for the factory. Alongside this, we've got copper smelting to get enough copper for the factory as well. And then we have the oil beast portion of everything. We've got rubber being made, and then the heavy oil residue going straight to petroleum coke for electrode circuit boards. And then over here, we've got more for plastic, and that is being turned into recycled rubber as well. So lots going on this first floor. It was actually quite difficult for me to fit it all in, but I did get it all fit in the long run. Up here, we've got another setup on the right side for the plastic for supercomputers. We've got 22 constructors for the quick wire. Another 15 for all of the copper-related products. My frames are taking a hit, don't mind it. Cables are being made here as well. Ah, okay, I see what I did. I was like, why are some of the cable going that way? That doesn't make any sense. I see why now. These 4 are making high-speed connectors. These 2 are making AI limiters. Also, we've got a resource bus Mageddon. Like, absolute resource bus Mageddon over here. It is kind of ridiculous how high I ended up making that. All of the circuit boards being made right here as well. And then 3 for computers. And finally 3 for supercomputers. Which then get shipped straight back to the main storage hub at the end. And we can double check here with the efficiency hand checker tool. That was interesting. We can double check that this is indeed a 5 per minute injected input, which is exactly what we wanted it to be, was 5 per minute. So at this point, we are going to be going around the entirety of the map, placing down geothermal generators at all of the geothermal nodes that we possibly can, with the exception of the 5 in the swamp, because, you know, the 5 in the swamp are going to be done when we do nuclear. And then after that, we're going to start setting up infrastructure for drones, which is going to be a lot of fun. Alright, well, we are at the first location here for the conquest of our power expansion. Even though we've already taken down most of the planet in terms of sprawling factory space, our power needs to be a little bit more than it currently is. And the way that we do that is by destroying a bunch of these little guys. I have no idea where that one went, because he's orange, and so is the water. There we go. Now we can put down these massive, absolutely humongous geothermal generators, which operate kind of interestingly, actually. They operate on a variable power system. So I don't know what purity these nodes are. This one must be normal because it's 300 instead of 600 as its max. Or no, sorry. This one's pure. So it goes the whole way down, and then it'll start to go the whole way back up again. Eventually. So I don't know what the maximum production is going to be from this place. Well, technically the maximum would be 900, but that would be if they were both in sync. If they're not both in sync, the maximum is going to happen and then start to draper off. Yeah, like that. So it's not a direct maximum. So on average, it's a decent amount of power, and because of the fact that we have power storages, it's not going to be a big deal. So we're going to go around the entirety of the map. There's a bunch of these over by the Orange Heaven area, and we're just going to go on a conquest. We went around the entirety of the map placing geothermal generators down. There's 2 here, there's 1 here, another one over here, there's 1 here, 2 more over here, there's 1 up in this area somewhere, there's a bunch of the suckers all over the place, and there's 2 here that I placed off camera that you saw earlier at the beginning. The only 5 left to grab are in here, and you can see our power is still up in the 3,300 range, despite the fact that I actually turned off the coal generators over here, just so that their machines aren't constantly moving and grooving and draining my FPS a bit. But now we are over here on the Gold Coast enacting Phase 2 of our drone plan. So way long ago, we placed these 2 drone ports and these 2 drones. Let me actually see if I can get rid of drones on the map. Amazon Warehouse, Gold Coast. Well, we're about to place down the Gold Coast Battery Distribution Center. There's a bauxite node here. There's a bauxite node up there somewhere. There's another one up in this area somewhere. And there's another one way over here. And all of them are going to be coming to this area. I'm going to make a little platform right there, distributing all of the bauxite to where it needs to go. To the fused modular frame factory that's going to be way over there on the actual Gold Coast, to the turbomotor factory, which is way off in this direction, and all over the place to other areas. It's going to be a shit ton of fun to set up. But first, we gotta get rid of some wildlife, as it may be called. Don't go under my platform. Come out and fight me like a man. Got a little carried away with my blapping there. No need to worry, though. Because there are a shit ton of these guys to blap. I'm actually probably going to need to go get more ammo. But it's okay, because right now, we really only need to set up a couple of drones. And there we go. The bauxite node of the pure variety is now ours. Huzzah! We are victorious on this fine evening. So I'm gonna go do the same process and set up all the drones, and we will be with you in a moment. We went on ahead and mined all of the bauxite, with the exception of the bauxite that we need for turbo motors, because I don't want to deal with that long of a belt right now. We're actually about to go start dealing with nuclear, drone-wise, and getting the away port placed. We'll do the actual regular drone port for the output of uranium when we do the nuclear power plant. But for right now, we've got this little design. I think it's really neat, actually. The whole, you come in, walk underneath the belts, go past my notepad of beacons, and then you can come up here and interact with all the drones and drone platforms and stuff as you need. And speaking of interacting with drone platforms, we're actually going to do this one. Go to all ports, Amazon Warehouse, Gold Coast, this port, Gold Coast Fuel Receiver. And the drone over there. The drone over there should .tm take off and come over here to deliver batteries, because it's going to be delivering the batteries into all of these 6 drone ports. This one here is labeled, what's it labeled? Turbo motors, because it's only 300 per minute. These 2 are 2 separate ones for the fused modular frames and cooling systems, because it's 540 per minute total. And then these 3 are for the nuclear pasta, because it is 780. And 780 is not going to happen on a single drone port. No way, Jose. Here it comes. It is on its way. Can't wait to see the round trip for that thing. We haven't made this look beautiful yet. We're going to get to that in a second. But we have made this look somewhat decent. If I can actually continue to hover, please. Thank you. And we've got the fused modular frames cooling systems coming from underneath, coming from that direction, and then we have the turbo motors going above, which is going to go that way. It's not done yet. Also, this isn't done yet, and it's not going to be done yet, because I don't want to deal with foundations right now. Right now, all I want to deal with is drones. And that is about it. In addition, we've got some stuff down here for load balancing and all that whatnot. I'm really stalling to get this drone over here. Oh, it's here. It's here! It's here! It's gonna deliver batteries here in just a second. Oh, also another thing, I set up a little temporary thing way over there for power shards, because we are going to be power sharding a whole bunch of buildings and stuff to save my frame rate. Which, honestly, ever since I switched to Twitch, OBS does not have this hard of a time, which is great. I'm going to stay on Twitch for the Update 4 playthrough, but switch over to YouTube again for the 5x5. So, very excited about that. This should give batteries. Yes! Batteries for the drone army. Lovely, lovely. And now it's gonna go, and it's gonna get even more batteries. Absolutely lovely. Thank you. Good drone. Thank you. So we just connected up the bauxite. I said so. I've been trying to avoid that all episode. Could you tell? Anyway, we connected up the bauxite that was over here into where it's going to be going for the turbo motors. And all of the drones are pretty much good to go for their respective projects whenever we actually get to that point. And as you saw, we connected up the Chernobyl source for the drone port, and it'll have its own drone with its home port over here, basically. We're gonna head over to the 5x5 challenge now. I forgot to turn off the music. Oops, sorry. I probably forgot to turn off the music at some other point as well. I don't really want to start on electromagnetic control rods or anything else yet. .tm. I don't really want to do any factory stuff right now, because if I get into it, I'll be on for another 3 hours. But we're going to hop over to the 5x5, get the save started, and actually explain the rules of the 5x5. And I'm going to end up making a command in chat for that as well. And hopefully get stream elements over to YouTube. So let's go set up the 5x5 and then discuss the rules. So we are obviously in a new world here, judging by the fact that the frame rate is like up in the hundreds until I like look around, and then it goes into the 70s and stuff. But still, that's pretty crazy. We're in a new world. This is going to be the 5x5 challenge world, and we are going to be starting here. We've got 4 iron nodes. I believe that they're all pure. We have 2 copper nodes, which are both pure. We've got a couple of limestone nodes, one there, one down there, another over there. 2 of them are pure, one of them is impure, or normal rather. There's one of the copper, the other one's up there. And then right over there, we've got quartz. A little over that way, we've got caterium. We've got water. We've got oil. I can't really see the oil from here, but trust me, we've got oil around here. There's nitrogen way over there, but it's still pretty close in, like, terms of distance to resources and everything. And we've got coal as well in this area. So we have everything that we need for an entire playthrough, with the exception of bauxite, which is going to be super easy to grab. Like, super easy to grab. So let's talk about what the 5x5 challenge is for a little bit. And for that, I'm going to actually need to go pull up the website. We're over on the Satisfactory Tips website right now, satisfactorytips.com, which is run by another content creator by the name of TotalXclipse. And this is the 5x5. So I'm going to be doing this a little different than most people. So all production, including fuel for power, should be produced within a 5x5, including walls all the way around the foundation. Manual crafting is allowed outside the 5x5. Power generation buildings may exist either within the 5x5 or in a separate 6x6 foundation grid, including walls. Belts, pipes, hypertubes, foundations, ladders, and walkways can be on the outside of the 5x5 or the 6x6 and brought to any level. This includes trains and truck depots. So trains and trucks are allowed outside of the 5x5. Miners, water extractors, oil extractors, and all the special buildings, MAM, space elevator, etc. can be built outside the 5x5. The only exception is the awesome sink must remain inside. You can place geothermal generators outside of the towers, but if you do, they cannot be connected to any power grids inside the 5x5. I don't really understand that. I'm probably going to break that rule once I get to geothermal generators. Prior to unlocking the building's milestone and building your 5x5 grid, you can build 2 smelters and 3 constructors anywhere and are not limited to the 5x5 tower. That's the main rule that I'm going to break right there. Prior to the building milestone and building the 5x5 grid, you can build 2 smelters and 3 constructors, and that's it. I'm going to be breaking that a little bit. I'm going to have a starter base getting me up into steel. And once I have Mark III belts, I'm going to be... Well, actually, no, that's a little too much rule breakage, even for me. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to only do 2 smelters and 3 constructors, and that's it. Like, I might do 2 smelters and a couple constructors for iron, and 2 and a couple for copper, and 2 and a couple for limestone. I might do that, just to get, like, the basics. Smelting and crafting, like reinforced iron plates, rotors, stuff like that. Everything else is going to be done and done. So I'm going to be doing the separate 6x6 as mine, just because I don't want to have everything in the 5x5, which is the hardcore stuff. I cannot do that. However, I am going to have all of the logistics inside the 5x5 tower. So belts and everything belts and everything else are going to be within the 5x5. Hypertubes, ladders, and walkways and stuff are going to be outside the 5x5 or 5x6, but any sort of belts or pipes are going to be within the 5x5. So the rest of this doesn't really apply to anything. That's really all there is, and there's no seasonal stuff. That's all over. There are different milestones. My milestone is to automatically produce 1 nuclear pasta. That is my thing, and that's gonna suck to do. This is gonna be a logistical nightmare, but that's the point of the challenge. And if I ever get to a point in the challenge where it stops being fun, obviously I'm gonna stop doing the challenge. It's just kind of how that goes, right? That is absolutely how that goes. And then the other thing is that I am going to be using mods. So the mods that I'm going to be using for this are the hard drive cheat and the power shard cheat, as well as the smart mod for obvious reasons. I'm not going to use stuff like the dispenser mod because that just takes up more space. That's unnecessary in terms of needing space. And I'm not going to use some of the other mods that I have installed. Should I forget what other mods I have installed, actually? Let me go check the manager. Efficiency checker, I might use a little bit. Permaday is something I'm going to use. Expanded walls and fences, not going to use those. Empty hands I'll use. Hard drive power shard and conveyor wall hole are going to be the main mods that I use for this playthrough. So that's the entire rundown of the 5x5. I'm not really going to get started this episode other than just some basic iron and stuff being produced. So yeah, that's going to be all from me for the recap video. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, because I know I did. It's really good to be back in this game and actually have my frame rate. But without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, do svidania, avidizian, ciao, and goodbye. Have a wonderful night. I'll see you in the next one. Later.